Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you in another video. Alright, so I'm reading that the Lakers are interested in centering deals around Vando. You know, when we first got Vando, my intentions was to see him as a Laker forever. But there are real legitimate deficiencies on the floor when he's out there. And you couple that with concerns about this foot injury, which we missed him for half the season, and it really hurt our team not having him. I can see where the Lakers could feel like they can maybe get a more reliable piece, maybe able to fill a need, maybe able to get a center, maybe couple him with a pick and get something really good. I don't know what the Lakers' thoughts would be in that regard, but I can totally see where you feel like if you have to choose between who to lose, where someone may fall in line with saying, okay, I ain't going to move Rui, I ain't going to move Austin. Well, who's the next piece that everybody would want? It's probably Vando. So it's like we don't usually think about moving Vando. I think most Laker fans have it in their mind like I did when I first got him on this team. And I never want to move this kid. The things that he can do, you can't duplicate. He's one of the most important defenders in basketball. Problem is, his offensive deficiencies and now his injury concerns make it so that he's not somebody that you are certain you can counter. And so when you have so little to make moves to get better, you start looking at what people would otherwise want, and you see Vanderbilt sitting there. I think the problem that Vanderbilt is also running into is that there are other players in this league who are coming in with length, who can defend. You're starting to see more McDaniels pop up, guys like that. So it's like, how valuable is Vanderbilt at a deficiency to your offense and as an injury-prone type player when you may be able to find what he can do elsewhere? Now, I personally think he has defensive genius. Like, I've seen him do stuff on the defensive side of the ball that I don't think you can teach at all. And I don't think he's a done developing player. I don't think he's done. Problem is, if I expect him to get hurt or stay hurt, or if I do have him out there, there's legitimate issues with the spacing for the players that we have. He should be on a team with more pure shooters, man. He should be on a team with more pure shooters, and he should not be in a core with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, who in theory are not shooting stars. You see what I'm saying? I would much rather him in a situation like what Jones from New Orleans is in, to where you got real shooters there. B.I., Hawkins, of course CJ. You know, they got real shooters in New Orleans, to where a guy like Jones, who's hitting his three, doesn't have to be relied upon to hit his three in order for spacing to make sense. They have such legitimate shooters. So that's really what it comes down to, is having the shooting on the floor necessary to assure that you have the players that make it so that Vando is not such a liability if he's out there. And I think if the Lakers had more valuable stuff on the team, you would never even consider moving Vando in general, because you wouldn't be deduced to having to figure out to choose whether it's him, Rui, or Austin, or a combination of Rui and Vando to keep from having to move Austin in a big deal. So these are the types of things that the Lakers are having to consider. And I think a big part of the problem is the fact that we didn't have $15 million going to a legitimate, desirable piece. We chose to get that money to Gabe Vincent, and Gabe Vincent ain't that guy. So that's even less what we have to work with. And then you listen to the conversations about how far we are over the cap, and you start wondering if you can become more cost effective in moving some of these pieces that we really like, but make up so much of our cap that we're over the cap. You know what I mean? I like the contracts that we have, but is it worth it to keep all of this together and be in a space where you can't get better? Do we love our pieces that much to where you got Austin on a $50+ million contract, Rui on $50+ million, and then stuck with Gabe Vincent $15 million a year, and you got Bron Nady super duper max contracts? It's like, how much of this stuff do I need? If I can't get so much better with it, does it hurt to get a little worse without it? You know what I mean? A little worse. And maybe I can kind of put myself in a position to have a bit more balance as it pertains to my books. So I don't know if that's what the Lakers are looking at, but you figure if the type of production we can get with a combination of 2 and 3 players, it's the same thing we can get at a third of the cost if we just play free agency and shed some of the salary. What I expect I'm getting from Gabe Vincent at $15 million, I can get from somebody else at $5 million. And what I'm expecting to get from Vanderbilt at whatever his price is, I can shave that off and then find myself a player who could probably do that stuff for half the price. And so it's like when you have so much of that going on and then you got AD and Bron to try to build around who don't shoot the ball, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have Vanderbilt on the team. And Rui, who's a three-point shooter, but maybe has some serious deficiencies in some areas, also plays the 4. He got too many 4s and not enough two-way 4s at that. So it's like, if this team wasn't so deficient in two-way players, Vanderbilt wouldn't be somebody that we would even consider moving because of how good he is on the one side of the ball that he plays. But because he is one of many one-way guys, it becomes a situation where you're probably best for moving him and trying to see if you can find more of what it is that will help you in the areas that you really need. So you saw what your team looked like without Vanderbilt last year. And you have a healthy fear of what you look like when he is on the floor if his shot isn't falling. So how valuable should he be to you in those 2 events? Well, you already know what you look like without him. It ain't like you're going to be missing him because he wasn't there at all last year. So if you shave him off, what does it really look like in terms of difference? You don't have no difference. We didn't have him for more than half the season. So it's like, I get it, man. I get it. I still think the best from Vanderbilt could be yet to come, but also think that there's a concern. You know, and that concern is legitimate when you consider exactly what we have going on. So I ain't mad at the Lakers for moving Vando. I just want to make sure we don't move him for nothing. You know what I mean? I think that the same could be thought of for the other 2 guys too that we're holding on to on contract though. Depending on how difficult it is to move Gabe Vincent, maybe it does make sense to move on from some guys and try to get more cost-effective pieces. You know what I mean? To shift you into a position to where if you need to do something, you have more of attractive pieces, or if you need to rebuild, you're in a better position to do so. It was something I was thinking about last night, man. It's like, how bad do I need Rui, Austin, Vando together at the price that they combine to make when I'm over the cap and can't even get better? Or if D'Lo leaves, I'm so bad because I'm so far over the cap. And now I look at those 3 guys, it's like, are they worth that headache? Like, and the answer is not if it ain't gonna get me good enough to get better. You see what I'm saying? And that's the problem. Because that's where all of your tradable stuff actually is. That's where all of the over the cap truth actually is. It's in them contracts. So it's like, damn it, I ain't over the cap if I ain't holding on to these guys. You know what I mean? Okay, I can lose D'Lo, but like, how valuable are these dudes to the core of LeBron James and Anthony Davis? I don't know. When you consider how far over the cap we are, you start talking about even if LeBron James leaves, we can't even put the money in that can replace him if for some reason he does walk out the door. We don't even have the $50 million that he's leaving behind because we're so far over the cap. It's like, why is that? Is Anthony Davis contract? No, it's because you got Vando, Rui, Austin all on long deals. Move some of them deals so you can get far enough under the cap to build properly around AD and Bron. You fix that problem. I was thinking about this morning, like, why the hell are we so far over the cap, bro? I know we got 2 superstars, but that's all we have is 2 superstars. And it's like, no, it's not. Because you signed Rui, you signed Austin, you got Vando in multiple years, you got that stupid contract to Gabe Vincent, you got D'Lo. It's like some of these dudes, I like my guys, man, but I don't need all of those contracts to come together to be what complements LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You see what I'm saying? That's not the best pieces around them 2. Not for what it is that we're faced with, and that's why we weren't good enough. Now, all of that could be skewed by the fact that Vando wasn't there. For all I know, running it back is the best thing for us. But when you look at the fact that we're so far over the cap that even if D'Lo walks, we still can't do nothing, that is a problem. That's a real problem. And so how do you fix that? Or you move somebody. You move some guys that maybe you like on contract but don't love on contract. You like them, but Do they really complement Bron and AD so damn much that you just have to have these dudes? Those are the guys that you have to now start shopping and see what you can get for them. See if you can get underneath the cap. See if you can get more valuable stuff somehow. More value pieces that could look more attractive next summer than maybe they do right now. That kind of stuff. And since we are all in agreement that we don't want to move Austin, Vando and Rui are more likely to be desired by the field. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you have to do. It's not that you want to do this, it's that you have to. So that's what it comes down to, man. I look at this Los Angeles Lakers team and I say, I liked our players last year, but going into this season with what it is we know we're looking at, you got to have more length, you got to have more athleticism in the front court. Guys got to be able to jump a little bit, have a little bounce. Offensive rebounders, you need shooters. And just the same, you need to have enough bodies to be able to withstand a LeBron injury and an AD injury, and you need to find a point guard. On top of all that, if D'Lo leaves, or even if he stays, I don't want him to be my starting point guard. I don't think Austin's that guy. Even though I've been on the record saying we need to put the ball in Austin's hands and let him be a point guard, I don't think his handle's ready for that. I don't know if it's going to be. I'd rather him be an off-ball facilitator at the 2 guard. You see what I'm saying? Or a third dairy, if that's a word, point guard. So that's my take on things. I just think it makes a lot of sense for the Lakers to retool some of these dudes, move on from some of the players that we have here. And if we do, maybe we don't regret it. Maybe we can find ourselves in a position to be further under the cap than we are right now, and in a much better position to retool at the deadline or something like that. So I don't like the idea of just moving on from Vanderbilt if you're most teams in most situations. But when I'm building around 2 non-shooting power forwards, I don't necessarily need another non-shooting power forward who doesn't even play both sides of the floor. You see what I'm saying? And then I got Rui as a power forward. All these dudes are power forwards. Every last one of them power forwards. So at some point in time, we just got to say, all right, man, I need more diversification as it pertains to two-way guys, and I need to have something more than 2s and 4s up and down my roster. I need more than 2s and 4s. I need some 1s. I need some 3s. I need some 5s. You feel me? We got too many damn 4s, man. So that's what I'm looking at there. Bringing back Christian Wood. He's not a real 5. He's also, in theory, a 4 that's going to play 5 for you. It's like, damn, how many 4s do we need, yo? You know what I'm saying? So I just think the Lakers could use some more wing help, an athletic, jumpy type of center who you may be able to find in the draft, and a point guard, because Jalen Hood-Schifino is not going to be ready this upcoming season to take on that role, and D'Lo is likely to find himself elsewhere one way or another. So we're going to be significantly worse off the strength of that alone. So if we can move a couple pieces and retool our entire situation, maybe we can be a bit more balanced and make a lot more sense as a roster. So that's what I think the Lakers may be thinking. And I don't blame them, man. That's kind of what you have to do, it seems. And let's just make a better decision in regards to putting ourselves in a position to have somebody else other than Gabe Vincent eating up $15 million of the cap. Can we do that? Because that's the big part of the problem. He's not a desirable piece, man. You see what I'm saying? So when you got to make decisions on what you're going to move, that dude's not worth moving. So that becomes a situation where you're a little frustrated when you're the GM trying to, your first round pick from last year ain't worth nothing. Your mid-level exception from last year is on a 2-year contract at 15 apiece. He ain't worth nothing. You're not going to move your stars and they eating up most of your cap. And they play the same position and they don't shoot. It's a lot. You feel me? You feel me, y'all? That's what it really comes down to. So that's what the Lakers need to do, man. They need to turn some of this stuff that ain't worth what it should be into stuff that it is. That is worth what it should be. And I think the Lakers are on their way to doing that. So that's my point of view, man. I hear the Lakers are looking to move Vando potentially, and I think it's for what we have going on and for what can't change, Bron and AD. Then we got to bring stuff to them that can shoot, man. We need more McDaniels and less Vandos, man. If you can't shoot the 3 ball, it's just going to be tough for us to build around LeBron and AD with you on the team, man. Especially if we're going to be losing D'Lo and furthermore losing Torian. Like, we're already not a good 3-point shooting team. You're going to get rid of your 2 best shooters? potentially. Like, our spacing's going to be even worse next year, just off the strength of D'Lo leaving. So that's going to be a real thing. We got to find some shooting. I wouldn't be particularly upset if the Lakers found a shooter in the draft if they want to take 17 to use a shooter, because it's not like we don't need that in abundance. We really do. So this is a team with a lot of needs, man. We're a little further away than I think a lot of people thought from being a contender. And when you look at what the NBA is shaping up to be, I just don't think what we have is really good enough. We can start up this way if we want to and see if we can have a better season in the regular season, but we're probably going to go out in the first or second round any damn way, regardless. And so if that's going to be what you know is going to happen, you can actually afford to shave off some salary and make yourself a little bit more flexible. So that's what I have to say, man. That's my thoughts on things. I hope everybody's enjoying their day. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching, and I'm out.